love the CFL just as much as I love the NFL, so I felt like this is my opportunity to do the thing I always wanted to do. But you had to still, I wanted to grow through it because I didn't want to like settle. I still wanted to shoot my NFL shots, of course, but I still wanted to be the best in this game that I could be while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Jonathan Rose, welcome to the It's Not That Deep podcast, brother. Thanks for coming on. It's been a while. We've been trying to set this up.
Yes, sir, man. Glad to get in with you, man. I've been seeing your work. I just want to be a part of your work, man. Let's talk that talk, man.
So, for those who don't know, you are a cornerback. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Of the Ottawa Redblacks football team in the CFL. I just want to start by saying you're an absolute dog, bro.
Man, appreciate it. I just always wanted to get acknowledged, just the simple fact that I was out here dogging.
Bro, like you are out here making the most ridiculous tackles, forced fumbles, interceptions, just getting after it. It fires me up. As an ex-football player myself on the defensive side, nothing fires me up more than someone who has that heart, who wants to go after it, like on the field, every fucking play.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that.
So let's talk about your story a little bit from the beginning. Let's give the people what they want to hear.
Yes, sir.
Tell us your story, bro.
So, started off Leeds High School, a little small town in Alabama. Came up, well known for Charles Barkley. I don't know if everybody should know Charles though.
Yeah.
So, came from Leeds. That was about the biggest thing. So, I made it out of there. Good high school athlete. Ranked here, ranked there, and made it to Auburn my first year. Had some decent success, played as a freshman, made all that happen, and ended up leaving there to go to Nebraska for another opportunity, and had some success there, and then came to the CFL after having some NFL opportunities. None of them panned out in a contract, so signed here to the CFL. Been here for 4 years, 2-year divisional all-star, Grey Cup champion first year, 104th Grey Cup champion. That was great. And since then, just been trying to continue a steady ream of success, man. I've been in the playoffs, been in the top DBs in the league for all of my years. Last year getting cut short, but still was on track to doing nice things, man. So I don't know. That's just been my career. Everywhere I've played football and I've got a chance to touch the field, I've been successful. So I feel like that's one of my things I do pretty well.
So when was the first time you did touch the field? What was that like? How young were you? Was it Pop Warner? Are we talking
Yeah, so it might have been like Pee Wee leagues in Alabama. So probably like 6 years old, they let you start playing.
Okay, interesting. So was it just one of the sports you were playing, or was it always football? Was it always just you knew football was the one for you?
I didn't even know football, to be honest with you. I knew baseball. Baseball was the thing back in the day. I like Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey was cold.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was like real fast when I was young. You know, kids always want to be the fastest. So I like playing the outfield, just being able to have that range to go and get the ball anywhere. I just like to run around anyway, so I just excel my talents from there. And then I think that's what took me.
Yeah, I'll just move this mic.
Oh, yeah, you got it. You good, bro. But, yeah, playing outfield made me want to play DB, tracking the baseball. And then I correlated the football, tracking the football, but that came way down the line. So I just felt like I got my basic mechanics from, like, baseball. And I did a little young track and field stuff, but basketball, the regular type things, and then football came along, and I just adapted.
So pretty much the big three.
Yeah, man, you got to play baseball, basketball, football.
I love it, man. Yeah. So then throughout high school, you're playing football mostly. Like, were you playing more football? Were you playing more basketball? Or were you just juggling all of them?
I wanted to play basketball. I ain't even going to lie. Everybody had hoop dreams. Thought I was going to be the next one. I was like, shit, Charles did it. I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And I was pretty good. But, you know, you just don't play certain sports as intense as the ones you really like. So I was playing football way better than I was playing basketball. But
Always a DB?
yeah, always a DBO receiver though. You start off at receiver.
Right.
We all feel like we can do that, but then we all separate at some point in time. You feel like you got that dog to play defense.
What was that moment? What was that moment you knew it's like, all right, man, let me.
In ninth grade, they put me in for to play receiver. Man, I went across the middle, got hit, stood up. Cause thinking with a DB perspective, I like to go and get it. So I'm like, man, ain't nobody gonna out jump me. But he wasn't even thinking about going for the ball. Boom, dropped me.
Just want to.
I was like, I'll never get hit like this again. So I always wanted to be the aggressor. So I just started playing defense.
Dope, man.
That's crazy.
I can relate, bro. Like when I played, like I think they tried me on offense at like running back or something, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like as soon as I got to hit like the D line or linebacker and hit somebody, I'm like, man, bro, I can catch the ball all day. It's fun, but nothing like putting someone in the dirt. 100%. I'm not gonna lie.
And then as you get older, man, the playmaker ability, man, like you just don't understand how big of a game changer that position is. So
facts. So what was the transition then from high school to playing at university, playing for Nebraska? What was it like there? What was different from being in high school, playing down south, to playing a little bit more high tier football?
Football in the South was very intense, just even from a young age. So I felt like even when the levels got harder, it was still it wasn't anything new to me. Like in some places, their little league football doesn't amount to our little league football. So the development from certain areas, and that's why people recruit. That's why you get people from certain areas. Just the development of the kids. So I feel like when I was younger, the older kids weren't too far away from the younger kids, so the skill level was about the same. So then going up to university, being in the South where football is one of those main things, I was just already ready for the game. So I was ready for the college level coming straight out of high school because I was playing the same type of guys. Like they was just that big as they were the year before that. So just being in that talent pool helped me excel and keep on growing through the college level and then taking that to the pro game.
What did you study there?
Sociology.
Sociology? Did you enjoy like the school part of it at all, or were you just more always focused on being an athlete?
The school part was cool just because I was used to a small city. So once I got there, it was just big campus. So I just wanted to go to class just because I had to go clean across town just to get to it. So I just wanted to take the walk and take the journey to it. And then I just embraced the school part of it, school to school. You buy in, it works for you. You feel me? So just being in a different environment helped me want to explore more anyways.
Facts. So then after university, you mentioned that you had some kind of like opportunities to be looked at for the NFL. What were those like, and what happened there?
So before I left Nebraska, I was dismissed, so I got dismissed from the team senior year. So that kind of messed up some of my opportunities, but I still was able to go back to Nebraska's pro day, which gets you looks. So they let me get my opportunity. So I got an opportunity from like 3 teams, took my rookie mini camps, 3 days to show what I had. And most of them were doing like futures deals. So probably like in August, if they needed somebody, they would call. So I wanted to play football right away. I was like, man, I ain't got time to wait, but wish it would have happened right then, but it didn't. So I'd rather try this CFL opportunity that I had. So I kind of got it 3 weeks before, but I was still doing NFL stuff, so I had to put it on the hold. But they still let me come up, and it was the Redblacks. Let me try out like the last week before the first preseason game, so I didn't really get to learn much. So I just had to go out there and really just show what I was about. I was like, man, you don't really know the system, and I tried to learn the system, but I don't really know, so I got to go out here and make a play.
Because Canadian football is very different.
Like the dynamic. Like for one, I was still shocked that my first time walking out there, I didn't realize the field was that big.
I was
confused, man.
It's like, why we played on a soccer field, bro?
I was like, bro, I have never seen the sideline ever, and I was running for like 15, 16 yards.
That's
so
crazy,
that was
man.
the whole culture shock right away. And then it became football, but then I realized, again,
3 downs.
It was an extra man on the field. I was like, bro, there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was confused about the little things. So that's just the little stuff that's catching me off guard.
The ball is a different size. Like, there's so many weird, subtle differences.
I was seeing the waggle, but, like, Ottawa introduced it to me right away. So my first day in practice, they sent Greg Ellison on the waggle. Boom, he beat me. I
Explain
was
that a bit.
confused.
Explain that a
So
bit.
the waggle is the receiver goes behind.
Oh, okay, okay. In motion.
Yeah, on the
Okay.
motion, and it goes on a couple yards back, and then comes up upfield. So in our league, you can only go lateral, so you can't even go back like that. So that was my first time like ever experiencing that type of football, which helped me grow my game, and that's why I like the CFL, man, because even though the rules and they seem silly, it really takes a certain type of athlete that can do it. Just like in the NFL, certain type of athletes do certain things in those tight areas.
It changes a lot.
Yeah, then you get a guy come up here and you see our D linemen might not be that big, but they're more athletic and they make more athletic plays on the outside and the edges, and that's what kind of game this is. So it kind of helped me just take my game and develop it in a different way for the scheme of the game up here.
One thing for me, and this is like coming from a guy that grew up Canadian and played Canadian football.
Gotcha.
I still never understood why there was only 3 downs. I never could like wrap my head around like.
You want to know what I think it is? I think it's just a challenge. I feel like they see the NFL. They was like, those guys can do it in 4. Let's see if these guys can do it in 3.
I guess,
the
man.
challenge of it.
I said that once to someone, and then they got super pissed because they're like, the CFL is like twice as long, been around twice as long as the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, man, if you want to say it like that, whatever.
And I understand that, and I feel like the NFL developed this game something off of the CFL, but some of the dynamics of how we play the CFL game is crazy. But that's what makes it so exciting.
Well, it's they say, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they say it's a lot more of a passing league.
100%.
Because you have that much more field, and the end zones are massive.
And I think that's just how the game was developed. Like, why wouldn't you pass?
If you only had two downs, really.
75% of the time, you should be passing until you get to a certain part of the field, and you can kind of do what you want to do. But, this game is built. That's why I was saying my first time out here, somebody ran, like, outside, and I never seen the sideline to squeeze him to. That's a DB technique, to squeeze him to the sideline. He had so much room, and that's just how the game goes. But that's why I feel like the defensive back position in the CFL should get paid more. 100%.
You heard it here first,
man. There, man.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, man, because you got to basically lay out. And I've seen your highlight tape. You lay out for some of these balls, man. You put your body on the fucking line for some of these plays, bro. That's wild to me. So what was the first thing, like, what was your first reaction when you were like, all right, Ottawa Redblacks? Like, did you know about Ottawa? What did you know about the city before you came up and joined the camp?
I knew Ottawa was the capital, and that's because I looked it up a few times. But then everything else I learned as I got here. I didn't know anything about the CFL. So night before, looked up the Ottawa Redblacks. It was the year they lost the Grey Cup.
Okay.
So I seen them make it all the way. And I was like, okay, this is like a decent game. But from the outside looking in on YouTube, you don't know the field's that big. You don't know. I wasn't really paying attention if they were waggling or anything. I just knew.
They're just playing football.
Yeah, they're just playing football. So I was like, hey, it looked just like the game I played here, so let me go check it out. And it really was the same, but with the little wrinkles, but you still play cornerback how you play cornerback. So, and it was just an opportunity to do something different. It was an opportunity to just play ball. So I know you feel me, like once you done with university in the States, it's either league or you done. You ain't no team. You can just go do nothing else. So this is like you got to go make it happen. So this is your next league. So and it was a real league opportunity. Like I love the CFL just as much as I love the NFL. So I felt like this was my opportunity to do the thing I always wanted to do. But you had to I wanted to grow through it because I didn't want to like settle. I still wanted to shoot my NFL shots, of course, but I still wanted to be the best in this game that I could be while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well, one thing Sherrod kind of talked about on our podcast together was how, it's not even only about your talent or like your skill. There's fucking thousands of people fighting for that same spot. So the competition's so crazy. If even one thing, the scouts are looking at, you don't check that box, boom.
And
they got 1,000 other people to fill your place.
And that's why you said your best quote from Sherrod is like, it's a business. Don't forget it's a business, man. So you always like you're trying to keep yourself up, but you're really trying to be better than the next man and just make sure you can
Facts.
hold what you got down. You feel me?
So when you first came to Ottawa, what was your like reaction of this city? What did you think about it at first?
It was beautiful. I came up here like in June. The sun was out. People was going to the little beach. They was getting busy out here. They was moving more. It was jugging out here. They had just came off. Well, whatever, the Redblacks was just getting known. That's all I know. I remember we was a fresh team. Everybody liked us. They said we should win a Grey Cup, and I was coming in. I was like, yeah, we can win a Grey Cup. What you talking about? I came here to do all that. So, and next thing I know, the team chemistry was just so cool, and then the city was just a vibe. I don't know what was going on at the time. I guess football was just being brought back here, so it was really exciting. So I came in at the best time. It was flooded out here. I was like, this is just all these people, everybody in the city, everybody coming to the capital.
Especially in that area, because it just got basically redeveloped just for that. Yeah. And you hear a lot, like for me, like kind of being raised in the city, you hear a lot of people who live here call it so boring, like this and that.
And I don't understand what they talk about. I don't really understand.
But, you know, all we really had, the only sports team we had was the Ottawa Senators. And this was out in like Canada, like so far, and like, you know, going to watch a hockey game if you lived on the other side of the city, it was no. Yeah. Like just to put it lightly, it was like, man, I'll watch that shit on TV if I have to watch it in your own city. But that's then tough. You know, things have changed, and like the past few years, as you brought up, it's a vibe. Like that's an atmosphere, and like so many things are going on in that area, and like, you know, it's still not a big market city like, you know, Toronto or Vancouver or something like that yet, but it's getting there. You know, people are starting to pay attention to the city, and winning the Grey Cup, I think, has a big part to do in that as well. That's actually like, you know, that's like validation a little bit. Like, all right, we got a team, and we're not just here. We're winning. Yeah, we got something to say. Like, we're not just, you know, here to just fill out this expansion plan of the CFL. Like,
and that's what I like about it, and they keep on expanding. You got the new basketball team coming, so that's just bringing another dynamic to it. And the city just in general is growing, just as one of those, it's a government city, so it's always going to have people coming in and out. And then just the name of sports teams gives people a reason to come out here and support and even just come visit your city. So all that right there is just great.
Yeah, love that. But then you came in like the peak best time of the year in Ottawa.
And that's wild, bro.
But then what was it like when you experienced your first Ottawa winter?
So so we had the snow game in 16. So that's but my adrenaline was up. I was all into it. But
football is fun when like people think when it's a snow game, you're freezing. Like when you're running around, it's fine, man.
It's all good. Yeah. And I just asked my girl the other day, I was like, bro, has it always been this cold out here? I'm like, listen, it was so cold the other night, bro, I couldn't even understand it. I was like, I played in something like this. Ain't no way I ever played in this. Like being outside in regular cold and being outside in like a football adrenaline rush is very crazy.
I ask myself all the time, bro, how? Is it really this cold? And I've lived here my whole damn life, so I don't think you'll ever get the answer to that question, bro.
And I continue to ask people, like, I know it ain't cold, but I just want to hear somebody else say it.
Bro, it's so fucked up, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I try to be a very positive person. Yeah. I'm very much like, I think it's very important to not complain about bullshit that's out of your control. Man. But even I reach my breaking point when it's like February, and then you're going to see March is going to be the same damn thing. It's going to go into April, and you might get a snowfall or two in May.
And then the crazy part about it, you got to wait for all of it to melt, too.
All of it to melt, fucks up your whip, fucks up your kicks. Yeah. You're just like, it's just.
I got shoes and boxes right now. I'm waiting till it just clear out to put on.
Bro, you're going to be waiting a while. I'm telling you. Everyone says, this winter is not even so bad, all that. I'm like, bro. Actually, like, for me, like, on a personal note, like, as much, I still love the city. It's still my city.
I got you.
And I won't sit here and shit on it. But I need to set my life up so that I leave in January and come back in May.
Like, end of May. Don't even come back early May. Wait till it's good and hot here.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Because it's beautiful, bro.
It's so great. Yo, it's beautiful. In the summer, people are chilling on patios. Yeah. Everyone's outside. There's no hassle. Like, you just throw your slides on and you're out. Yeah. I love it. But then winter, everything just becomes more complicated. There's no sun. You wake up in the morning, you're like,
Yeah.
bro, like I need like another hour, bro.
It's so sad, bro. I just have to turn around. I have to re-get myself together every time
Yeah.
to even set foot outside.
But it's like this, yeah, it's like this little like you gotta hype yourself up, like, man, it's okay, like it could be worse, all this.
100%.
And especially coming from Alabama, like I don't know anything about Alabama.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's hot down there, like
you know,
hot.
And it rains like how it snows up here. We might get rain like that sometimes, but
Okay.
88% of the time you gonna burn up in Alabama.
Man, I'd prefer that any day.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was like, I'd rather burn to death than freeze like this out here.
100%. I've always been the same way. But I was born in India.
Mm-hmm.
So in India it's like hot,
dry and hot.
like dry and hot, and I'm
Right.
talking like 50 degrees Celsius sometimes. You walk outside, like your sandals might start to melt. Like it's
Hell,
crazy, man. Like it's
damn.
in the peak of like July, August in some places in India. Wild. Super heat.
You want to know something?
I would
crazy?
still rather take that than this, bro.
Nah, I'll probably stay here for that type of heat right there.
No, man, you got AC, you sit inside, you're chilling, you know. I'll still take the.
What's that? Your sandals melt off.
Nah, that's a bit of a boost, but you know, like if you're standing outside, you can't be barefoot. Your
100%.
feet are gonna burn off. Your feet are going to burn. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a 3rd-degree burn. Yeah.
Out here though, man, listen. Like it tricks you too. Like it'll get nice, sun will be out, snow will start to melt. Then next thing you know, 2 days later, snowstorm, double pile back up on you. I'm like, what?
100%, man. It's always, and it's gonna keep teasing you like all the way through. You're gonna be like, nah, you know what? It's finally done. Like that's it. We made it. We made it past the. Nah, nope.
That shit gonna make 2 times harder. It's crazy.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about football as a whole. What do you think about the future of the sport?
I feel like it's one of those games that's gonna be like basketball and baseball, America's pastime. Just it's never gonna get old. I just feel like, and I don't know how much it's gonna continue to develop. Now the people playing it might keep it going. That's what I think it is. Like you always gonna find that somebody you want to watch play every year. It's somebody that comes out, becomes the next star. Once he's done, somebody come behind him. So that's what's gonna keep the game moving. Superstars. So just people that play the game well, keep people entertained.
Yeah.
And little leagues like the XFL, like that's in the league.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Like people, I like to watch that. I'm not saying that it's not gonna take off, but for the meantime, until it becomes established, it's something good to watch now. Throw a different dynamic in there, just like the CFL. Like those different types of games that still have the same football, but different wrinkles, different play
like
types.
the kickoff. Like you saw the kickoff?
That was weird. I still don't understand it, but like I
it
said,
threw me off. But I actually I took a second and I looked at it with an open mind. I'm like, it kind of makes sense.
It makes a little bit of sense.
It makes a little bit of sense because my whole life the kickoff was just a waste of a play.
Yeah, because
they
get a run. They get a
tilt.
running start.
Yeah,
and you still haven't even caught the ball. Now you catch the ball. Now they in your face, and you got to make some moves.
100%. So now you're seeing, and I bet people will catch on and stuff. But like a lot of the fake handoff reverses, that kind of stuff.
And I really think, all in all, it's a safety thing, man, because like people, I remember running down on kickoff, you just you gonna bump, you gonna hit somebody on your way there, then you trying to go make the tackle.
That's what coach
would
always tell you. If you're not gonna make the tackle, you better lay someone the fuck out.
You better lay somebody out. So regardless of the play, you hitting something, bro.
Facts. Speaking about safety a little bit, that's kind of like what I was alluding to a little bit with like the future of the sport. So as you know, like, I don't have to tell you about everyone talking about CTE and all these kind of brain injuries and stuff like that in the sport. What are your thoughts on it? And like, if you had a kid today, would you push them to play football?
If they wanted to play, I wouldn't stop them. And I think the game has developed enough that we take like the helmets, the shoulder pads, all those into precaution. But the game is the game. It's still gonna get played the way it get played if they learn the proper techniques, and I make sure they play the game in a way that I approve of, and I let them do what they do, because I mean it is what it is. You can say I'm not gonna let my kids play, and that's fair. But at the end of the day, I was given my choice, so I don't want to take my kids' choice away. So that's how I'm gonna go about it.
I feel very similarly about that because like if they want to,
Yeah.
they should. But man, I also look at some of the alternatives. It's like,
Yeah, man.
all right,
Cause you
man,
wanna know
like
what's scary? YouTube, bro. I went on YouTube and started watching like CTE and football after football life stories. Them shits is crazy.
that shit, man, and that must be. I like. I hate to bring it up because you are
Yeah,
playing right now.
for real,
You know what
man.
I'm saying?
But you know,
But it's
it's a
just like
time.
it's
Yeah,
something to talk about. It's something interesting because it's like it's so. I think they're gonna look back,
and be like,
and they're gonna be like, "Yo, like you guys ran full tilt into each other." When I played, they were like, when you have like a helmet to helmet
yeah,
or some kind of hit, they call it getting your bell rung.
yeah.
So you got your bell rung, get back in there, you're good, bro.
Boy, you
It's
was
like
out here
what?
silly concussed, boy.
So like all this kind of shit, and like then the studies come out, they're kind of trying to tell you like
Mhm.
it's not even those that are like really the major, like
Yeah,
obviously those are bad, they're not good for
it's
you,
really like
but it's all those
contact
little contacts, all the
and
little.
like hitting your head on the ground. Like imagine like when you tackle somebody and boom, they hit their head on the ground. Like that's the worst ones.
Countless times, and like no matter what kind of like measures they take, like no contact practice or telling
Regardless,
DBs to hit
whenever
low.
that game goes, that's enough contact for everything. Like you can do non-padded practice, all that. Even though game day is gonna be
That's what I'm saying.
worth all 4 of them days you practice.
That's what I'm saying. So it's almost like the argument is like in my head, shouldn't you be more prepared for the
Yeah,
game?
I would rather, and that's what we used to do. We used to do, what was it? 2, like a shoulder pad, just uppers day, and then we used to do a full padded day, and then the other days were our days off, just to get your body ready for some type of contact for one of those days. And then they went to no contact practices, so like that just gets you on game day. That's your first time getting a thump. Like that's crazy.
Man, that'll make you like question some of your decisions
Yeah, bro,
sometimes,
because you
bro.
be like, okay, my body just got to feeling good. Boom, car wreck.
Actually, who's the running back on the Texans? So he what was his name? Adrian. Oh man, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. He was on a Texans running back for the longest time. Retired.
Texans running, bro.
Anyways, this dude, he would talk about like, man, I'd get rocked sometimes, and as a running back, he'd be like, bro, what am I doing? Thousands of fans
Bro.
cheering for you, all this shit, and in the middle of the game, he'd be like, the fuck am I doing, man? Like, what is this? Became like started studying some like astrophysics or some shit after. He's like, that was what I really wanted to do. I'm like, bro, what?
What's the dude from Florida State? Roll that became a surgeon.
Man, I gotta Google this now.
Yeah, Myron something from Florida State. He did that. He used to play football.
Arian Foster.
Arian.
That's
Oh yeah,
what it was.
Arian Foster. He did that.
Arian Foster, bro. This guy, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's where I learned this. He was talking about like
He got rocked.
he got rocked so much, and he was like a decent running back,
Yeah.
consistent. You know what I'm saying? But he got fucked up so much, and his body was just so destroyed all the time that he was just like, man, like I don't need this anymore.
And you want to know something crazy that people don't even look at? I might be looking too far into it, but like Marshawn Lynch, man, he banged for all them years and then took a retirement and then came back. Like that's just like a dude. He knew he could do it, but that little time off, that one little year of no contact, do your body good. Like somebody can tell you, like you can probably keep going, but just take you a year, and now he can probably keep going for more years. You might have lost a year in age, but you probably got your body back. Most guys want to go like 12 years consistent.
Yeah.
Your body will be done, bro. So I feel like some of those guys are smart, or guys are being smarter about their bodies and just taking care of themselves.
I agree 100%, man. Marshawn Lynch is an interesting character because for him, I think he saved most of his money too. He was very smart, made a lot of strategic, important investments off the field and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Gronk is another
Yeah,
example.
I
of
ain't
that.
really know too
I
much
think he's
about
gonna
it.
come back.
But that's kind of the move, though. You probably take that time, go set up you some something as a
Go heal up
source
your
of
body,
yes,
man.
heal your body for one, but a source of income away from football while you got your money and everything
100%.
situated. They give you a year to just focus in on
Well,
on
that's
that
what
type of
I
stuff.
think he talked about Gronk specifically. He talked about he never spent a dime of his salary as
Yeah,
a Patriot. All
all
endorsements,
endorsement
all
money.
all
That's
business
crazy.
business earnings, those kinds of things. He has like 10, 15 different businesses set up.
100%.
So I think guys like that should be helping coach up the next generation
Yeah,
of
yeah. Like
athletes
I
on
feel like those
financial.
guys should either in the NFL, which I know they probably already got one, but like let NFL guys talk finances with other young NFL guys.
Right. But yeah, like I completely agree with that. But that would be an initiative they'd have to take on themselves because the NFL doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know,
They
like
don't care if you blow all your
give
money or
we're
not.
gonna give you this, but what you do with it, we could care less.
100%. So that's very interesting to me. But yeah, man, like coming back to it real quick, it's like the whole CTE thing. No one really has an answer to it. No one really like knows. But I think 10. Like I saw something scary this year. It was the Pro Bowl. I don't know if you got to see any highlights of the NFL Pro Bowl this year. There was no contact. There was no tackling. So it would pretty much be like you line your you line your player up
Yeah,
and like a little thud
yeah,
and like plays blown dead. And that gave me this scary glimpse into what football could become.
yeah.
And to me, that's not like
It ain't even fun to
that's
watch.
not the sport I grew up
Yeah.
and love. You know what I'm saying?
And it looked different, bro. Like you got to just call it what it is. Like you don't see like, oh, bro, that was a hit that he could have.
Killed him.
Yeah.
You see these guys letting up and they just look bored. And I know it's the Pro Bowl and like there's
Yeah.
nothing really on the line, but
But you
like,
think about if the game get
Bro.
too severe, people might really start doing it like that.
bro, I mean, there's class action lawsuits against the league.
Mm.
All these ex-players are suing the NFL for
Yeah.
whatever, health shit that happened to them,
100%.
And so, right now they're just sweeping it under the rug. Oh, we got better helmets, or oh yeah,
And-
we're doing this, we're doing that. Like at the end of the day, the underlying issue that like what the sport is, are you gonna change that, or are you just gonna be like, man, fuck it?
Now I feel like the helmet issue. I mean, they can only get so good, and like gear can only get so upgraded. You feel me? I don't know how far you can go before you start limiting players' range of motion and movements. Now, when it comes to like, I just like taking care of players better. Like I feel like once guys like full medicals, I feel like they should do more full medicals, little stuff like that. Some kind of therapies, and I ain't talking about just like the physical therapies, like mental stuff. Like that football stuff is mental too, man. You have to do this for long periods of time and thumping your head and thumping your body around and then having to psych yourself out to get through certain stuff. And that's just how football players are made, and most athletes are made. Like you don't just see that in just football players, but we talking football right now.
You bring up a good point, man.
Yeah.
So, speaking of mental, what do you do to keep your mind right during the season? And like, what kind of like mindfulness things do you do to keep your head sharp?
I started reading more, writing more. So, like right now, I got a book, and it gives you like prompts. So writing prompts. So
Nice.
I write a different prompt a day,
Nice.
and that's small stuff, man. Music for one, music is great for you. I try not to do too much like TV stuff. If I'm gonna do that, it'll be late at night. Watch me some TV. But most of the time, I try to do something mentally stimulating. So do something to read, write, games like word searches, or look up some different type of information. Like look up something, learn something new.
Interesting.
Through the
Keep your
internet,
mind
though.
sharp.
Yeah,
always
yeah.
always keep it like. You don't want to just turn into mush and
You
just
feel
be
me? 'Cause
watching
if
TV.
you stop trying to figure out stuff, then you just sitting around just peeping,
Waiting to
watching
die.
other people. Yeah, that's what you turn. You turn to the creek
That's
when
so
you ain't
true.
got nothing
That's
to,
so true.
nothing to
Just
do.
scrolling the gram or this or that.
Look
like
at
just
this
mindless.
person. That's why you see you ain't got nothing to do, bro. You just came on here looking.
100%, man. I couldn't agree more, man. So, what are some of the things you do before a game, specifically to get yourself hyped up? Do you have like a ritual?
Not really, man. It depends on the day, for real. Cause I know you play football, so you know you always got to have high energy. But sometimes it take you like either till game time. Sometimes you wake up with it. Sometimes it's when you get on the bus. So I just do whatever the day tells me. Breakfast. If it's an early game, everything gonna happen fast. So I'm up early, a shower, vibe, good music, pick a song, start my day, see what it look like outside. I match my songs with how it look like outside,
Nice,
how I
nice.
feel. So
You
boom.
got like different playlists?
Got to, man. You got to have a genre, man, because I'm telling you, you get one chance to get yourself hyped for a game. Never go out into a football game flat. You're going to lose. I'm telling you right now.
I find
It's
it
not
so
good for your
interesting.
mental, bro. It's not good for your mental. I listened to some R&B one time before I went out, and I sucked, bro.
Just
I
too
was already
loose.
sad then. Everybody was yelling at me. I was like, dang, bro. I'm in my feelings, and they over
Damn,
here
bro.
talking to me rough. But we lost. Never let your emotions take you out of your football mentality, man.
So, what are some of the go-to tracks? Share with the people. What are some of the go-to motivating? Like,
Let me
I need
see.
I need something to fire me up right before I run out of this tunnel.
For one, Future, man, what's that song? Future. Till My Last Breath. Last Breath by Future. I've been on Lil Soldier. I don't know if y'all listen to that. I have to listen to that. They call it gangster rap music now. I have to listen
Never heard
to
it.
the hype stuff. Yeah, I have to listen to some of that. So just look up Lil Soldier,
Okay.
and you'll know where to go from there. You know how to find it.
Man.
Fat Trail.
There you
Trail get me going.
Okay.
Sherrod didn't even know nothing about me rocking with Trail. He thought he was the only one rocking with Trail. I've been rocking in
Damn.
there too, man.
That's hype, man.
Yeah,
Nothing
man.
brings two people together more than the same
Free
music.
Trail, man. My bad.
The same music. That's hype, man. I love that. Yeah, no. I think music's a big part of getting hyped up for a game. I used to always have my playlist ready to go before a
Uh-huh.
game. Just throw Dirty Sprite 2 on
Yeah,
shuffle, you
man.
know.
You feel me? It's something about that type of music that make you like, yeah, I'm about to go ahead and wreck some shit on mom.
That's hype, man. You brought up Sherrod. Let's talk about your guys' relationship a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You two are basically brothers from other mothers. I've never said that way
Yeah, you
before. It
hear me?
sounds hella weird.
Yeah.
But you two are basically brothers, man.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
about that relationship a little bit.
Well, that's the other half of the bros. You feel me? Came in, man. I don't know, bro. You just understand. If people understand the law of attraction, some people just you associate with. Some people you lock in for life with. Some people just work like that. Some people, I mean, everybody I done met is a good person. I ain't got no friend that I wouldn't do something for. But this one just clicked different. Some people just hit different. That was Sherrod. Football basically brought us together, but then the bond outside of everything else was just so cool, man. He was just a good vibe, family man like I am, business minded. And then really we just some ballers, but we just want to make plays and find a way to get a ring and get the biggest bag out there. So if y'all got the biggest bag, we want it. We trying to get it still.
I love
But,
that, man.
Yeah, football. Watching him and watching his game helped me develop. Him coming in and showing me different details in my game that I could make happen. So it was just one of them bonding experiences through the game. For real, the game will bring you your best friend because this is something. This is a craft. Like don't nobody have to help you with this. Like once you get here, don't nobody have to help you continue to be the best. If you ain't got it, some guys just ain't got it. And he just helped me take my game to another level. Helped me upgrade life. You feel me? Like start thinking differently. Start making more business like moves. Like I said, like guys in our position when you in this league, got to make moves. I mean, this is your opportunity to do the stuff that you might have not had a chance to do if you weren't in this position. So just using the position the right way, using the game the right way, using our influence the right way, being a good man, he do all that. So just our brotherhood is based off that, man. He a life. He gonna be my life friend. You need those type of people. He gonna be one of those type people. So we just been rocking, man. Keep on doing it. No matter what life keep throwing our way. We gonna keep on maneuvering and keep rocking. So that's just my dog, that's my partner, that's my brother. Yeah, that way.
I love that. And he's here right now, so
Yeah,
that's
man.
even more hype. And basically, you guys level each other up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I take away from this. It fires me up because just even peeping your highlight tape or seeing you guys on the field, you guys are always hyping each other up.
100%.
If he's not making the play, you're making the play,
Mm-hmm.
or you're making it together, squashing someone on the
You feel
field,
me?
man. So it fires me up. But then off the field, that relationship really grew and flourished. So you guys are at 67s games together. You guys are attending all kinds of press things. You
Good
guys
man.
are just in the weight. You guys are together, man. That's hype.
That's that the good man vibe. He brought that into me because we always want to do stuff for the community, and we out here for a certain amount of time. So you don't want to just do your regular job, just be an athlete, just play football. Like that's the easy
And then
part.
keep to yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the easy part, man. Anybody can play a football game, sit up in their house, and not give back. But this city is giving a lot to us. The city is supporting us. So I feel like the little parts we do are the big things for real. So showing our face, entertaining, going out of our way to go just mingle with the people because the people come out of their way to make us feel good on the day that we go out there and grind. So him being in support of another organization just is crazy, man. Like the 67, they love him. Every time I see a game, I see Sherrod. I was like, is he playing or is he there? I thought he was on the ice one time. I was like, ain't no way they let him on the ice and he's skating. But that's just
he knows the players on a first name
you feel
basis.
me? They first name basis, man. Somebody gonna
he knows who's on what line. Like,
his name gonna be in a Drake song next. Watch him. I'm like, dang, he up there, 6 man.
6 man.
But yeah, he just got it, man. This is how we built. We like being in the city. We like seeing I like the youth for one myself. Like watching my little cousins and kids in general come up, bro, because they need some guidance and they need somebody to show them how to do it. Because when I was from, I'm the one doing it. So now the kids got something to look up to. If you don't ever see somebody do something, it's hard to think that you can do it because you're like, well, I'm going to be the first. Like, it's almost unreal where I'm from. So somebody got to do it, and somebody got to come back and tell you some instructions on how it's done and what to do and what not to do to keep you from making the same mistake because that's how you continue a level of success and a level of excellence.
Boom.
Man, that was
good. Dropping heat. I love that.
Man.
So basically, for you, you're laying the blueprint for a lot of younger people to follow.
Yes, sir.
I think that's very important, man, because it's indirectly giving back. It's doing the things that you wish you had someone to look up to when you were younger. Did you have someone who, you kind of modeled your behavior after when you were younger?
Oh, 100% was my father. So yeah, my father been in my life my whole life, and just that's what kind of put me on the right path. I feel like kids' fathers should be in their life and they should direct their kids in a certain way. Like you can't be upset with young kids out here with no direction, and then you be like, well, he shouldn't have been doing this, and he had this guy, but yeah, it's just not the same. So that's why I feel like fathers should be in kids' lives, and if they're not, then somebody like me come around, an older person to a younger person that they can look up to, and they be like, well, he ain't my dad, but he's somebody I like, I respect, and I model after, and that's just my responsibility as a man. So I feel like even if they just look up to me, I got to do the right things for them. Even though they ain't my kids, I don't know them, just for somebody to be that confident and be like, okay, I want to model after him, you should at least try to be a decent person and try to do something of substance.
I love that, man. See, you're a family man, and also, I mean, I could tell a man of faith as well. Talk to us about what role your faith has had in keeping you on the right path.
Deep, man.
It's not that deep, bro.
It's not that deep. I like it, and that's what it really is, bro. Life. I had to realize life wasn't that deep, bro. And some of the stuff I used to carry on my shoulder and carry over my head, it just wasn't that deep. And the only way I found that out was God. And because I just, you feel like you pray enough, you do enough, but it's small pieces don't work out. And that's what I felt like. I felt like the reason the small pieces in my life weren't working out because I just wasn't being real and wasn't being consistent with anything. Consistency is the best thing, whether it's your life, your job life, your at-home life with your girlfriend, anything. Consistency is the best thing to keep anything going. If you can be consistent with something, and I ain't talking about like bad things, like everybody knows, but if you can be consistent with what you do in a good way, it'll pay off for you in the long run.
Well, it actually is the same for the bad things, right? Mm-hmm. If you're consistently doing the wrong thing,
you can't
it
complain
consistently
about it.
snowballs in the wrong direction, man. It's the same thing. It's just you can make the principle work for you or against you.
100%.
So that's powerful, man.
Yeah, 100%. Then I was just gonna go back to the God thing one more time. The God thing. Whoever you pray to, I don't have to be a God, but whoever you pray to for your strength and spiritual mind, you feel like you have to. So going to church is a good thing. So me and my girlfriend are going to church a lot, and I made it after my surgery. I felt like if you're gonna move a certain way and you're gonna ask for certain things, do the right things in the process. So that's why I'm doing my walk as I do it, and then you try to inspire somebody along the way. They don't have to take it. That's why I love social media. You can watch a story and you can look at it and you can be like, man, that was really informative. I'm gonna use it, or you can just skip it and just go on about your day. That's how I feel about information and advice. People be like, oh, they gave me bad advice. You don't have to take anything. Like somebody told you something, you ran off with it, it didn't work, now you mad at the world. No. Advice and all that, man, that's what I want people to stop doing. People need to stop taking advice and being upset because you didn't have to really take it. You can take it in, you can hear the person out, but you don't have to apply it. When you apply it, that means you thought something was going to work for you.
Man, you're speaking my language. That's actually something I was just telling to someone, and it means so much to me because since I started this thing, I've had everyone and their mom give me advice on how I should do it,
you
right?
Feel me?
Everyone's telling me, oh, you got to stick to one niche or you got to do this or you got to, like, telling me how I should do my thing, right? And I hear it all and I appreciate it all. Like, yo, you don't have ill will. You're not trying to tell me something, like, false, you
100%.
know? But, like, I heard you.
I don't have to apply it.
I don't have to apply it. Like, I could absorb it, take it, but I don't have to adhere to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, but it tests you because, like, social media, a lot of it is shiny object syndrome.
Man,
you see something that, like, you know, someone living a life that you think, like, oh, I want that. And then, you know, maybe even you talk to them or like, oh, yo, how do I do this? Maybe they give you some advice. Oh, you got to do this, and this. And let's say you start doing it and you don't get the life that you want.
And then you blame
you're going to blame that person. It's like, man.
And you want to know something crazy? People will do that. Like, people will live a certain Instagram life, but it's not their real life. And then the person that asked them for the advice, they'll give them the advice that they not even using and be like, yeah, bro, you can go out here and do one of these, do one of those, you go have it. And that's how you know you in jail.
99% of these gurus, bro. That's what it is.
Hadn't done none of the stuff they be talking, and that's why I like rap, because you can rap about anything. You didn't have to even be there.
No,
Sherrod, he wasn't in there, but he said, bro, got shot. How?
Oh, man.
How, Sway?
How, Sway? That's crazy, man. To me, that really just comes back to...
That was a rap lyric too, y'all. We ain't talking about nobody getting shot. I was just...
Yeah, no. The pure disclaimer. But, yeah, man, like, coming back to it, it's just very interesting that, like, everyone has an opinion. Man. It's fine to hear it, and I actually like it. Like, I often take advice, and it actually does help me. But it's being selective and knowing your path, knowing how to stay in your lane, and being true to yourself. Because
and you want to know something about advice, bro? You saying being true to yourself. I had lost it right when I didn't mean to cut you off right then, but
go for it.
Man, something about advice I was finna say. All right, you got it, my bro. My bad.
No, all good,
when
man.
When I cut you off, I lost my train of thought.
Don't worry, bro. That was something when I first started doing this podcasting thing, I would do that every time someone would be talking, because it's not a bad thing. It's not like you're trying to interrupt me. It's because you don't want to forget what you had to say. It's something that I've had to work on so much.
That's real.
It's actually...
That's exactly what I was doing. I was okay, when he say this, now I'm okay.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. And yo, it's going to come back to you at the weirdest time.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, fuck. I should have said this. It's all good, man. It's all good. But all that to say, man, like, people mean well. A lot of people don't mean well. So just being able to just, you know, stay true to yourself, stay in your lane, and just, you know, take people's advice. But, man, you don't have to apply it. Like, reading any book. You read any book, right? Are you going to, like, take the words literal and apply it to, oh, I got to go do this now and this? And no, man. Take what you can from it. Apply it to your life.
Interpretation out of everything.
Exactly.
That's what I was taught. That's how I was taught. Like, never, like, even when my parents told me about school, they was like, they're gonna teach you stuff in school, but take your own interpretation of it. You don't have to take it as literal. So, and then, like you said, it came back to me right away. Advice. Some of it is criticism at the same time. So people criticize you, and that's why I really want to hear advice, because people kind of give you good outside looking in perspectives when they give you constructive criticism. Now, when they just being hurtful criticism, it's just coming from a different place. But constructive criticism, and you really look at it and you be like, okay, I seen that in myself, but I could never say it. So I like constructive criticism. So that's why I listen to people's advice, because it might end up being something like that.
It's very difficult when you're driving in your own lane and you're doing your own thing. You're so laser focused on whatever it is you're doing, whatever goal you have, whatever you're trying to achieve, that sometimes it is important to have someone's outside perspective, like, hey man, you've been slipping up on this, or anything, like whatever that advice may be. And sometimes it's like, oh shit, you're right, like damn.
And then you was thinking about it, but it might have just slipped your mind.
So that kind of stuff, like, it's always interesting. And for me, I've grown so much just from having conversations like this.
Yeah.
Because there might be a situation where I'm walking down the street or something happens, and I'll think about this convo right here.
Yeah, man.
I learned more from this than any classroom or anything.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that's like my whole life. Like, I learned, like, people be like, oh, he's from here or there, so he knows a little bit more. I'm cultured, but I'm not just cultured because I'm from the South. Oh, my bad.
All good, man. All good.
Get us right. Damn. Testing, 1, 2, testing. It's that water. It came back up quick, baby. But yeah, man, being cultured, just going to different places. So, like, went to Auburn, got that culture, got the Southern college style of living, and I was a high school in the South. So I understood the high school dynamic of it, and I understood the college dynamic of it in the South. Then I went to the Midwest, to Nebraska, whole different atmosphere, whole different type of person. But looking from the outside in, I didn't even understand. So I was like black and white. So the white population in Alabama is high, but we mix. We on different sides of town, and we still integrated, but it's cool. It's a different type of dynamic in the South. When I went up to the North, where they were more talkative, we were more interactive. That's what I wasn't kind of used to. But that's how you kind of learn.
I thought it'd be the other way.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be the other way around.
And I did too.
Really?
But people don't understand. Like in the South, we really integrated. Like white people, black people, it's just we just out here. It's just more common, but we don't. It's
not as much racism.
Yeah, but we don't talk as much. Like I don't know if I can make sense of it. Like we ain't just out grocery store. Hey, how you doing? But we still in mixed communities though.
Help me understand.
When I went up to Nebraska, though, it's just like the interaction. Like a lot of people just interacting and talking and
hey, how you doing?
Yeah, it's just not as cordial. Yeah, it's real tense in the South. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like,
so in Canada, they turned that up a notch.
Y'all turned that up 15,000%. It's like, hey, let me get your whole grocery bag for you and put it in your car, and then I might help you start your car.
Yeah, I know.
I love it though, but I love it. But and people don't understand like when you talk like that. But it's just being from different cultures, and that's why I feel like Canada. Y'all adapt to people well. Like in the States, we just don't adapt to you. Come there and you're talking different. We mad at you and we try to figure out what's going on. But here, y'all give it a chance. Y'all embrace it. Well, hey, that's cool. Yeah. We take you for who you are, and we gonna give you an opportunity to show something. In the States, you are who I think you are, and there's whatever
I'm putting you in this box.
I'm putting you in this box, and until you show me different, even if you do it, you still look the same. So I can't. It's hard, man. That's why the States got so much conflict.
I've never been down to the south of the States, but I'm going to Dallas for the first.
And that's
first
cool.
time.
Texas is cool.
Texas, I've heard, is a little bit more, but depending on where you go, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't just speak about Texas. It's like speaking about Canada. It's like it's so big, right? But man, like I heard everyone's got a gun down there.
And that's the States.
I'm like, yo, I gotta be careful in Texas,
man. Not just Texas, boy. They got guns everywhere. You go to the next state over, they got 2 guns on you.
Man,
you feel me?
I actually went to a gun range for the first time when I was down in the States, and I fucking loved it, bro.
Hey, I swear, I fogged my goggles up every time, bro. I get to sweating every time gunshots go out.
Oh yeah. Pow. Man, it's a good time, but obviously, within reason, don't be carrying around some crazy
but
shit,
see, and that's what I'm saying. That's the whole conversation we're having right now. The dynamic in the States. Me personally, I feel like you got to have a gun now just to be safe for you, your family, and whoever you with now, because it's just so unreal. Like up here, y'all don't have as many of those just rare occasions where
Yeah.
People getting killed here. People now y'all got the regular violence now. Like stuff is happening.
Yeah.
But in the States, it's just happening at a rate. Like, you'd be like, what?
A
What
Walmart,
happened
like
where?
like a random, like
Yeah.
at a
Guy
Popeyes.
at the gas station gets mad, airs it out at the gas station. He ain't getting no gas. I got to watch the dude. I got to watch, man. He ain't getting no, hey, somebody get this man some gas over here because it's getting crazy. But it's just too much random place stuff. Like, you don't,
That's
and
the
it's like
shit.
places you go every day. So now you just looking for your everyday places you don't even want to go now.
That's the shit. That's the shit that kind of freaks me out. It's the random. It's not like, it's not always like, I hate to put it this way. This is going
Yeah.
to sound so fucked up, but
It's
it's
all
like,
good.
it's like, some people, I'm not going to say they deserve it, but they put themselves in a situation
Yeah.
where it's more likely that it would have occurred.
100%. I got you.
Whereas
Sometimes
if
you
I'm
in the
just
wrong
walking
place.
down like a McDonald's and someone just pulls up on me for no reason,
that's
like,
crazy.
yo,
no?
I don't need that, man.
So yeah, now if you live in a lifestyle that brings that, of course, I'm not even talking about that. But if you telling me I got my kids, we going to the park and this motherfucker just come up and he get to airing it out, like
AR
what?
and shit, man. Anyways, it's a weird topic because I don't know enough. I'm not educated enough to talk
Me
about
either,
it.
me
I
either.
really wish I knew more about it. But moving on, man. Like, I think it's very interesting the cultural differences. I've always been like, that's something I'm actually like kind of passionate about because I love travel and I like meeting people from all around the world.
Yeah.
And so like when I got to travel a little bit in Europe and a bunch of different places, like getting to see how different people live their life, one of my biggest like takeaways and things that I learned is that, yo, you might have black skin, I might have brown skin, you know, you might talk a certain way, I might talk a certain way,
Yeah.
you might have a different faith. We're all just human.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same. We all want the same things for ourselves, our family, health, wealth, happiness, you know, those kinds of things. We all kind of fundamentally want those things, right? It just manifests in different ways.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my thing with this podcast. It's like I want to talk to everybody and just show people that, yo,
You're
in
not
this-
under one dynamic or thing.
yeah, exactly. In this, we're like over 50 minutes now. We've been chatting.
Okay.
We're finding out that, yo, we have so much in common. We're like, we get each other, even though I don't know you. You don't know me. We don't know each other,
Yeah.
but it's not that deep, man.
It
I
ain't.
love
It's
that.
not that deep. And at the same time, as a man, like how women can get together and not know each other and have a conversation. Men could do that, but we got prides and we got egos and we look and
100%.
we just got looks. So as
No
a
one
man,
wants to open up.
nobody
it's
wants
like,
to be that first
man,
person to be, be vulnerable.
You know, like
Yeah.
as dudes, we walk around like with our chest out,
and
man.
we
It's
can't
like,
help it. And it's hard to embrace anybody when you walk around like that. And that's why me and Sherrod, man, was so cool, man. 'Cause we got a male bond, and like people think like me and him just be chilling. Like we had debates, like we talk, we argue about regular life stuff, just like y'all argue about.
I'm
regular
sure there's
people.
so much shit you guys don't agree on.
You feel
and
me?
that's what makes you closer.
But you need people like that because if I don't argue with another man, I can't say I got another perspective on how males should move because we don't really talk about it. So I need to see how he move. Be like, okay, I guess I ain't moving different, and he might just move like that. So I can't be mad and I can't get upset about certain things because I don't understand other guys, and it ain't like no other stuff. Like you just got to understand the male culture. Like you can, I walk up on somebody like too bold or too abrupt, and then I'd be like, well, if he would have did the same to me, I probably would have reacted the same way. So that's kind of the male and masculinity part of walking around in life.
Facts, man. That's another thing I learned from traveling and meeting some people as well, is like getting to sit down and talk to them about things that you're told not to sit and
Yeah.
talk about. Politics, religion, those kinds of things, right? And learning other people's perspective on certain political things that are going on in the world right now. And like for me, I always thought like, man, I would never like align with this person. But then hearing someone's perspective, it's like, oh, this is why I voted for Trump about this and this and this and this.
And it started to make sense though.
And I'm like, yo, you know what, man? I still maybe don't agree with you on
Yeah.
these things, but I heard you and I get you. Like I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
get
I'm
you
better
on that
for
too,
it.
bro. That's how I developed. Just listening to other people. Like I didn't look at. So say me and somebody disagree on something. I never seen it from their perspective, but when they break it down to me, I see why it makes sense to them. Now I might not still agree like you said, but at the same time, okay, I see where you're coming from. I never really developed that until I started to listen. I don't know. I feel like people think they listen, but most arguments, and I don't know, it might be a male thing, but I feel like once we feel like we right, we don't really listen to the other side.
I think it's a human thing.
Okay.
Like honestly, man, a lot of people dig their heels in on their opinion, and will, even if they don't even feel that strongly
Yeah,
about it,
it's
it's
their
like,
opinion,
this is
though.
my opinion, so I'm not about to back down.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna give you the satisfaction of being like, oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
You might have something like, yo, tell me more. Why do you think that? No one ever wants to de-escalate things,
Real
and
talk.
like, it's hard, man. It's a skill.
Mhm.
And some people might even call you a bitch for it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
real
you
talk.
a bitch, man. What happened to your
But
opinion,
then
bro?
at the same
It's like,
time, if that can belittle you and make you mad, like that's why I
that's
grew too.
then there's
man.
different issues
Yeah,
going
you got
on
different
there, you know?
issues. If somebody can call you a word now and make you take it up to 100, it's getting crazy out here,
But
y'all.
there's a lot of people like that. I'd say most people walk around like that.
Yeah.
Like one person cuts them off in traffic, they're willing to
And die about it.
chase them to their crib and like fucking go crazy.
They,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
will die about it nowadays for the smallest thing, bro. And that's what I don't understand. When did we become so savage? Like I feel like everybody got to be that tough person now. Can't nobody take the small L, like this getting
Yeah.
cut off in traffic. That's a small L, bro. For you to bump their car, get out, cause a video. The crazy stuff I see on the internet, bro. I love the internet, bro,
Me too,
because I would
man.
never understand the world was like this without the internet.
Facts,
They
man.
be going wild. I seen a lady
Full
slap
out
another
fights on the
lady
highway.
for taking a bag of chips at the grocery store. She slapped her in the mouth. I was like, God, the world's crazy.
I spent way too much time on Roadstar
Yeah,
back in
bro.
the day, man. But anyways, kind of tying that all back into the topic we were discussing initially is like your mindset, how you keep focused, how you keep, on the right path, and, growing, being a role model, that kind of stuff. Do you ever practice any kind of meditation? Do you ever do any kind of things that, other than the reading, other than those things, to keep yourself?
Yeah, 100%. So basically, the first one that's always a known is working out. Working out is a good meditation. But aside from my working out, hot yoga. Hot yoga is the key, man, because it gives you a area where you focus in on your own body.
I feel so good
You
after
get
hot
quiet.
yoga, bro.
You need the peace and quiet, so you to yourself with the little soft music and then the instructor. But all of that little time and those little exercises help you just become one with yourself. And then, like I told you, it's just body weight, so you're really not working too hard. But that little stressor give you that little peace of mind. And then at the
I don't
end,
agree
you
with you about the not working hard, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
I ain't gonna
telling
lie. I
you,
break a
those,
sweat in there
those
every
hot
time.
yoga classes will fuck me up sometimes,
I be
bro.
in there leaking, bro.
Bro, it's like sometimes I feel like that's a harder workout
Yeah.
than my normal workout.
But you want to know
'cause
what
it's,
it is?
It's up
Mental.
here,
It's a
man.
mental. You ain't did no more than you did
Nah,
in
nah.
that cool room, but you in there. I was like, bro, she got me in here squatting. I'm squatting 250 pounds in here. My back hurt. I'm tired.
Exactly, man. So I've tried to do a little bit more of that. My goal was to do like once a week. I'm not sticking to that goal, bro.
Yoga or just working out.
No, workout. I work out every day, but
Okay.
hot yoga,
Yeah, yeah.
hot yoga, I can only like. I want to do it once a week.
Twice a
I'm
week
trying to
is,
do, like,
is,
twice-
is excellent. Once a week you go on track, my man.
Man, that's the thing though. Like, I want to go. It's just, I'd much rather do some other shit.
Yeah, and I
It's
feel
like-
you. That's me. I'll be like, bro, I could go ahead and spend an hour in hot yoga, or I could go.
But you feel good after. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, you feel great after. But it's
And I
like,
try to do it at a time where it just don't seem inconvenient, like 6. Going to knock it out, then you can still bust your moves. whatever
6
you wanna
a.m.?
do. Nah, 6 p.m.
oh, okay. I'm like
Yeah.
6 a.m. yoga, bro. I did
Nah,
that once.
shit, it ain't even that fun at that point in time.
Bro,
I
at
don't
that-
get nothing accomplished.
At that, I'm not gonna lie though. You walk around a little extra limber the rest of the day, bro. You're
Yeah,
just a little more supple.
And I feel like
you know?
it's a good day starter, but I'm not a morning
Nah.
person, so it ain't gonna help me at all.
So let's talk about training a little bit. What's your
Mm-hmm.
training philosophy? What does training look like for you?
So that's a good question because I'm finna start into it. So now I'm gonna be in the development part, so it's gonna be like the heavy lifting.
Right. For people who don't know, you had a neck injury that you had to get.
Had a neck
sorted out.
injury. Had a little disc problem, so they fixed the disc problem, and it's a like 6-month process of getting all the way back, but like the process is just slowly coming along now, but it's fastly moving though. So probably August I'll be back 100%, and I'm getting back in the gym. hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So that's what I was going to say about my workouts. I'm going to gradually lift. So you're just going to lift heavier weights, not as many reps, but you're going to bulk and you're going to try to get more power. And then I go into a segment where I do my speed and my agility. So I move faster, quick twitch muscles. Then that's just all I focus on. So now I'm away from the heavy weights. You already did your heavy weights part. So now it's your agility, getting your range of motion, all that quick twitch and speed stuff. Then the last part is just getting into actual football shape. So now running 40s, running 100s, getting your body ready to go out there and actually run up and down the field. And then I'm going to be ready to contact and then get back to it. So that's the development of an athlete's progress and how he works out. You shouldn't just be lifting heavy all the time. You have to have for one, you got to be able to move. Like, you ain't no bodybuilder. You can be the biggest guy out there, but if you can't move, ain't nobody finna let you play football. So you got to do your dynamic stuff and your just heavy lifting type things.
Okay, so that's kind of coming back from the injury, kind of gradually adding more things on.
Yes, sir.
When you're in season, let's say, knock on wood, not injured, all good. What's your training regimen like day to day? Like, what's like a week look like of training?
So you'll break it down into a day. So probably Monday, legs, light abs, shoulder. Tuesday, just chest bench. Probably do calves and abs again. Wednesday, you'll do a full lower body. Decompression lower body. Those just depends. You can do heavy. If you still got the legs to do it, you can do heavy or do light, just to flush them out again. Then you'll do a kind of a full body, upper body, abs Thursday. And then your Friday is your killer. You just do a kind of a full body with a full ab. So it'll probably be 30 to 45 minutes worth of ab stuff at the end of that workout. And then you repeat that for the next week. And then you probably break that into a 2.5, 3 month process.
Okay, and that's while still having practices. So
So off season, that's all you do. So that's your everyday. So you'll hit the field, you'll incorporate some field time in there.
Okay.
And so once you get to camp, you good. And then in season workouts is the same. You'll lift, you'll break it down. So Monday after practice, you'll get a lift in. Tuesday after practice, get a lift in. Not as intense as the ones I was just talking about. So all this is just mild because you just did a full practice.
That's what I was kind of wondering a bit.
You.
So then, are you ever doing like 2 workouts in a day? One in the morning.
Off season,
off season,
yeah.
Not
in season. You'll do because I was doing 2 workouts considerably, but my morning workout wasn't really a workout. It was like an ab, a stretch, a warm up process.
Get the blood flowing.
Yeah, get the blood flowing, and then after practice, it's actual lift, trying to gain a little bit of power without exerting too much.
Okay. And then what's recovery like? What are some of the things you do for recovery? Do you wear those, what do you call those pants?
The recovery pumps.
Yeah,
those.
I always wanted to try that shit.
Man, they always look so cool. That's really the only reason I started doing them. And then I realized how they really make your legs feel. They give you a new pair of legs every time you put them on, bro.
No
Guaranteed.
way, bro.
You coming out there with a brand new pair of shoes.
I got to get me one of those one day.
But, bro, the recovery process, what people don't understand, the cold tub, hot tub, that's the most amazing thing ever. Fluctuates the blood. Because you're just doing so much contact and so much moving in a matter of months. So, like, you doing these weeks back to back. You don't really have days to rest. So, you got to trick your body into feeling like it's rested up. So, hot tub, cold tub. We do massages in season. They give us massages, and then out of season, I would recommend getting massages as well. Yoga still in season. Like, you basically do your off-season workout, lower intensity, but consistently, because now you playing. So now you got to get your body ready for games. And I know people say rest is good, but resting your body and then just trying to go out there and turn it on ain't gonna do nothing for us. So you have
rest.
You have to actively rest and recover as you're gaining strength. So if that makes sense. So you're recovering, but you're still building on top of that.
Love it, man. It's very interesting to hear someone who's actually a professional athlete and how they think about training, because the average Joe like me walking down the street, it's like, all right, well,
the gym is just enough, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I miss having the game to prep for, make sure my body's at peak. But when you don't have that, it's like, I just want to look good or feel good, or
I go to Good Life all the time. And these guys be like, dang, these athletes, be looking crazy, and then they get in the gym and they look the part, but then you realize you can't go out there and move like that. Like we like the look as well, but the look ain't really what we're going for. We're going for the dynamics. We're going for the range of motion.
You can do that, right?
I can bulk up and I can look crazy and walk around, look good for the rest of my life, but. We have to move a little different. So, like, I used to go to the gym and guys be like, dang, man, you don't have the biggest legs in the room. I was like, bro, if my legs get too big, who's going to let me play cornerback? What cornerback you know with huge-ass, crazy legs?
No, I get that completely, man. Yeah. And I've always enjoyed more athlete-type workouts anyways, because I feel like that's just in my blood.
Yeah.
Like, I always like ladder drills, functional
you want to do movement stuff.
I always want to do movement shit, right? Because I played linebacker and tight end, so I'd play both ways. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like I told you, I love defense. As where my heart is. But shit, I like to run some routes.
Say less, bro. Listen,
too, man.
I always thought I was Randy Moss, and I only had one good route, and that was a vertical. If I could get you, and I'm gonna burn you up from there.
It's funny you mentioned Moss because that's my favorite player of all time.
100%,
bro. My favorite player of all time.
I sat outside. I remember this when I was little, and I threw this little tennis ball up against the wall, thinking it was gonna help me get my hands right. I feel like it did, but you know, as a little kid, you just want to go do something extra. So it was like 3 a.m, and I just wanted my mom to come out there. Boy, what you doing? I'm trying to get better at football, Mom.
It might have worked. It might have worked. You don't know, man.
But those little things like that, man. Randy Moss and those kind of guys, like I said.
Straight
the position that I'm in, watching those guys as I was younger. Like you hear how he did it. You were like, dang, I could really do that one day. That might be he was an inspiration without even knowing the man. He was an inspiration just to keep going and developing my game to be great.
I love it, man. Moss, man, I could talk, like, if we just sat here and talk, like, we could restart and do a whole nother podcast.
A whole GOAT talk.
A whole GOAT talk just about Moss, man. I kind of hate that you brought that up now as I'm wrapping this up because I could talk for hours just about my love for Randy Moss. I won't rest until I get him on my podcast.
Real talk. Hey, say less.
I need to have Moss.
You growing at a high rate right now, so he might hear this and say, why not?
One day, boom, Randy Moss. I'm putting it out to the universe. I'm gonna have you on.
Randy, holla at my man, bro.
Man, this podcast's been great, bro. I'm really enjoying it. I got a few more things to ask you.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to wrap it up because we're already well over an hour.
Yeah, bro. I enjoyed myself. This was litty, too.
It's fun, man.
This was litty.
What are some of your interests outside of football?
Okay. I want to kind of open up a gym. So that's kind of one of my things on my agenda within the next 6 months to a year.
Damn.
Try to get a gym in my city. Yeah, some of my homies, we thinking about doing that. So that's kind of a move. And then just other interests besides that. Kind of want to go into like youth counseling or something. I want to help the youth, but right now my platform is good enough for me to help the youth right now. So I'd rather help the youth through football, sports, and on that platform, I'm reaching the kids. But once I'm away from the sports life, I want to still be beneficial for the kids. So probably like some kind of youth counseling in that nature, or program that I can work in and I can interact with children and kids and teens, because really mostly I want to do teens, man, because that's why I feel like we get most misguided at is at that 13 to 18 range. So somebody just to be there to help them.
Well, you're so impressionable at that age. Like, you know, you're either going to see your boys who are goons, you know.
You're gonna pick which way you're going to go at that age, and to have somebody that can understand it. Like, you know, you had those certain adults when you was younger that you felt like, okay, they understand. Then you had the other adults like, yeah, I'm not telling Suzanne over there. Yeah, you just got those certain people. So I feel like I interact with kids and kids actually listen, and they'll give me a chance to at least hear me out. So sometimes they don't give an adult a chance to hear them out, and then.
Well, when's your podcast coming, man?
Man, I'm gonna get there, man. I'm learning from you right now. I didn't have any of this. I was gonna have my phone set up, and I was gonna be.
Honestly,
like
you
this.
don't have to get fancy or do anything that crazy, man. Honestly, just your voice and speaking to these anybody, is enough. But. You make it a little nice studio. You can build a real brand.
I'm nervous, bro. I get nervous. Like, I don't know how you do this talking stuff.
What do you mean? Nervous. You just did it for an hour,
and
like,
I get to rambling and everything get to happening fast.
Bro, man, don't be nervous. Like, that's the last thing to be nervous about. You out here playing in front of thousands of people.
And I thought that was gonna be the toughest thing I ever did. But this public speaking stuff has been a killer for me lately.
Well, you're natural, bro. You're killing it.
Appreciate it.
What do you see? Do you see yourself living in Canada in the future?
100%. I'm working on becoming a dual citizen.
Nice.
So, yeah, man, I just like it up here, man. Got me a girl up here now. She gonna influence me to love this cold weather. 'Cause I know the God. I know. Hey, ask Sherrod. I left Sherrod, y'all. I wasn't even up here. Me and Sherrod tried to get some business going up here. I left. I couldn't even do it. It was too cold. So she got me up here for the long haul. So now it's only right to become a
Well, there are
Canadian
some
citizen.
warmer places in Canada. I went to Vancouver and it blew my mind.
Yeah, but Ottawa is my city though.
Ottawa's a city, but man, maybe for like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do this much longer.
Look at
It's
it
starting
and see,
to chip away.
y'all finna lose my man Ottawa. He let y'all know now.
It's chipping away at my soul, man. I'm a continuous, not that deep, but do a world tour from January through May, man. That's the goal.
And then I'm gonna say you just don't air them. Don't air them until like the end of fall.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Take that winter break.
Man.
But anyways, bro, this has been amazing. Before I hop off with you, I'm gonna do the lightning round. 5 quick questions.
Let's get it.
But before we get there, I want to ask you: is there anything I missed today that you really wanted to talk about?
No, everything good, man. I just want when people see this. Anything football related, I am gonna play football again, so you already know that's gonna happen. I like this city. Me and Sherrod, we still locked in, still bros. We still bros to the end. So if y'all had any questions, where's J Rose? I'm with Sherrod. Don't worry about it.
There it is.
Yeah, that's about it, man. I appreciate y'all hearing us out. It's not that deep. I've been on, and I'm ready to get my podcast going now because this is dope. I got to get one of these.
It's hype, man. It's so fun, bro. You could do this shit for hours. All right, let's go into the lightning round.
Okay.
Basically, like, pretty simple. You've done this before. It's just, like, answer the question, but you don't have to, like, give me, like, in one word kind of thing, you know? What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
I love the fish. Like, I could sit out there on the boat all day and catch fish. That's one of like my big hobbies. If you want to impress me, take me on a fishing trip, and it can be simple. You can get bologna sandwiches and some crackers. As long as I'm out there fishing, I'm good.
Love it. That's actually one of Moss's favorite things
For
to
real?
do too, right? Yeah.
Country boys, man.
Country boys, man. Favorite restaurant in Ottawa?
Pilly, hands
Ooh,
down.
Dang. Love that place.
If y'all hadn't had that chicken, please go check them out for the
So
lunch
good.
special. They're gonna hook you up. Raymond, say J Rose, and you get a 5% discount. Yeah.
If you were a superhero, what would you be? Who would you be?
I would had to be Superman.
Superman.
Just because he indestructible, man. I know unless somebody hit me with the kryptonite, I'm good.
But yeah, that's my only beef with Superman. It's like,
Yeah,
you always know how the story's
You
gonna
let,
end.
you let some kryptonite keep you from saving us again, bro. And you Mr. Indestructible?
This is a random question, man. I don't know why I wrote this, but
That's cool.
would you rather get a rack every week for 50 years or 500K cash today deposited into your account?
500K.
500K?
Yeah, you only give me that.
All right.
Yeah, I ain't got time. I ain't one of them people. Just give me my stuff moderately. No, if you get it to me right now, I'm going to do the same thing. Hey, and I might do it better, Mo. Come on now.
Other than family, faith, and football, what's something you're absolutely passionate about?
Kids, man. Like I said, the kids and the teens. It's just something about kids, bro. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's the key point in time, and they so genuine. Like a kid, certain ages, like 3 to 4, they won't lie to you. Like you ask a kid something, they gonna give you their honest opinion, and it ain't them being judgmental. They don't really know much. They just going off of what they know, and
that's powerful, man. We all gotta find that 3-4-year-old in us.
100%.
Just keep it 100 all the
it a
time.
buck.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro. We're going to do this again. I know it's going to happen.
This was amazing, bro. When you get this up, man, we're going to be jumping. Hey, if you haven't heard, I hope y'all hear about it now, man. This man has the setup, and I appreciate him having me on here.
Thanks, bro. The honor is mine. Thanks for coming through. And just remember, it's not that deep.
Always.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the It's Not That Deep podcast. For access to exclusive articles and content, please head over to www.itsnotthatdeeppodcast.com. And to help me grow this thing to the next level, here's what I need you to do. Go ahead and subscribe to my podcast on all platforms wherever you listen, and share with all your friends and family on all social media. And please leave a rating as well. Remember, it's not that deep.